Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Well, the government has disclosed that 181 high-rise buildings across 51 local authorities in England and Wales have failed safety tests after the Grenfell Tower disaster. Meanwhile, residents who were illegally subletting their homes have been assured they won't face any charges, partly to help put an accurate figure on the number of people who are dead or missing. As survivors continue to treat the official death toll with scepticism, independent experts have been collating their own figures from residents and sources like council and phone records. I've been speaking to Michelle Van Arn, who was a demographic advisor for a London council and is now collaborating with a team of online volunteer investigators on Grenfell. I asked her whether she accepted that officials can't be certain about the exact numbers.
Yes, there's always some uncertainty in population estimation, but they have administrative systems that would enable them to be able to come up with a pretty good idea of the number of people that they think were in the building. That's the starting point, and the complete absence of information, I think, is what has outraged so many people.
When you say administrative systems, what are you referring to there?
They could use council tax in order to be able to identify which flats are empty. They could use council tax to identify which households have only one person living in them and is in receipt of single-person discount. They can use housing benefit in order to be able to identify households for which they pay housing benefit for adults and children. They can use school census data in order to identify which children lived in the block. There is a lot of stuff that they could be doing to at least come up with some idea. I think that it's appalling that they don't know, because I know that it is perfectly feasible for them to know.
So what tools have you used that are publicly available that you've been able to compile this data from?
We don't have any access to raw, the census, the council data that they have. We've used reports from the press. We've used reports from residents themselves who have actually put up information about themselves and their neighbors, their family, in order to be able to build a picture flat by flat of what has happened in Grenfell Tower. So we now have 129 flats that we have populated data to. And then, so we know which flats we have no data. Although we don't know exactly which flats. Sometimes we just know the floor, and we've been able to assign people to a floor.
What do you say to people who worry that you might be fueling the kind of conspiracy theories that are surrounding this tragedy, and that you're fueling a sort of mistrust of the authorities? What do you say to that?
I don't think that there's sort of like some grand scheme in the background. It's just a catalogue of misadventure, and it has led to an absolute disaster and tragedy.
Does the community support your work?
I haven't had anyone who has specifically criticized what we are doing, and I have had a few people who've actually come on board to help verify and validate data and bring us reports of survivors in the community.
Have you had any contact from the council or the police?
No, I haven't.
Do you think they'd support what you're doing, or might they view it with some suspicion?
I have no idea, but in the absence of any other information coming out to the public, I'm not really fussed whether they support it or not.
I've been